Hey everybody. Today I wanted to go over something interesting that comes up from time to time. A lot of people have pieces they work on outside of Logic that are recorded without a metronome, and at times you'll want to get that track or tracks into Logic and play along with other recorded tracks, but you want them tight. You want them to be able to be placed with the metronome with a steady tempo. So in this case, I created one by playing my Rhodes and actual real Rhodes through a pedal, a guitar pedal a friend gave me, and I'm going to line that track up with some other tracks I recorded. It's really short, but I wanted to demonstrate an usually not really well known technique for lining up audio tracks with other recorded tracks. So here's the issue. Logic now has this new smart tempo setting that works well for things where it can analyze the tempo easily and find it and adapt to it, or adapt it to the existing tempo in Logic. So you see I have a tempo of 65 BPM, and if I drag this audio file in, you would want it to match. However, once you hear this track that I recorded on my Rhodes with a pedal, you'll see why that won't work. The tempo is a little bit more difficult to discern using an automatic system. So here, let's listen to that, a little bit of this. So because of the delays, there's an effect that creates a kind of guitar pedal like fade in, a swell on some of the notes that I did. I swelled it. That was me doing that. And so it's not going to be as easy for Logic's automatic smart tempo system to conform this track to the tempo 65 BPM that I set here, that I recorded another track of piano using sound paint and a reactor bass and some drums. And so they won't fit. They won't work together. I'm not even going to play you because they sound terrible together. They're just completely out of time. They start off a tiny bit working together, but then as I continue to play, I'm not playing with a metronome, so they fall away from each other dramatically. All right, so let's align this to our click here. And let me make sure my click is playing internally. Forgive me for that, not setting that in advance. It was not. So now we can hear that this click is way out. So the first thing I'm going to do is line up the first beat of the actual first measure of that Rhodes track with, so that it plays in time. And then after that, I'm going to use FlexTime to line up all of the other major hits in each measure so they align with the measures in Logic. You can see them here. Let's do that. I'm going to use FlexTime. I'm going to set it for polyphonic mode. I had it analyzed in advance, so you didn't have to wait. But usually it would analyze this track and create these hits that you see here, these FlexTime markers. And we're going to use those markers to align our tracks. I want to mention something that comes up a lot, and that is FlexTime analysis artifacts. That's when you hear weird, unnatural sounds associated with using FlexTime. And I want to show you, or tell you at least, because I'm not sure it's going to be a problem here, that the easiest way to get rid of those is to remove markers that are unnecessary. So for instance, this is one long chord, but you see a marker here that isn't really being used. I'm not going to use it. A marker like that one could cause artifacts. So what I'm going to do is remove them by going to the FlexTime view for that track. And you see there's lots of extra markers here that aren't going to be needed. It's FlexTime polyphonic. I'm going to go to the FlexTime view window. The view window here. I'm not seeing the window I want, of course, because I'm looking for it for you guys. File, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to go into the file window. Forgive me. And here you'll see the actual markers it created. And I'm just going to first of all, minimize this a little bit, so you can see a lot of the markers. And I'm going to click the minus button a lot until a lot of those markers just go away. I don't even care if it gets rid of some markers I actually want, because it's easy to recreate markers. So you'll see there's a lot fewer markers. I'll put a few back. But no, there's too many. There's too many, and I know that it'll create artifacts. So I'm more comfortable removing a lot of the automatically created markers and doing it myself, especially where the tempo moves and where the sound would be likely to have artifacts. This could be for vocals, a bass. It's less likely to happen for drums, but it can. Even then, I remove a lot of the markers from drum tracks, multi-track drums. But in this case, we're cool. I've removed most of the markers, you can see. And that Rhodes track, and you can see already that that next measure is playing off. I'm going to zoom this in so we can try to figure out where that next measure begins. So it's about here, I think, and I'm going to just drag that into place. Yeah, that's good. And it sounds okay. I'm not going to make any changes unless they're really needed. That sounds okay. That's way off. So let's go back a bit. Might be a little late, but I'm going to create a marker here. And this marker is just an anchor. And I do that a lot, and I suggest you do it as well. When things are working, just stop and create anchors along the way. And you'll want to do this for the entirety of that track. Creating these markers, these anchor markers, allows you to make sure that things that are working are unaffected when you make changes to things that aren't working. Like that. Okay, so let's see if that sounds better. That's better, but now I know this anchor marker isn't so great, so let's create another anchor marker back here and remove this one and see if that feels better. Much better. That's not great, so I know that that actual measure begins somewhere around here. Nope, I got that wrong. Let's create another one here and drag that back. Oof, really late here. I'm going to get rid of that. You can drag over markers, by the way, like I did here, just by creating a new marker and dragging around. But let's see where that measure 6 should start. It's a little bit late. I think it's about here. And you can see why FlexTime's automatic system wouldn't be able to do this, because usually you can see hit points in the track. You can see where a chord or a drum sound or a bass note or a vocal starts on a track. But with this Rhodes and all the delays, there's no way FlexTime's automatic system would have gotten that right. So let's get rid of that one. Now I'm too early, so I'm going to pull that back. And you're going to do this. That's better. I think that's okay. I'm going to create an anchor. Let's see. I think it's about there. It might be correct. That feels good. That's it. I'm okay with the rest. And that means that now I can let you hear the other tracks that I created to go with that one. I created this by kind of replaying. There's a chord here. I know it's not going to work, so I'll fix that later. But I replayed this and added some drums and a bass sound with reactor and to go along with this Rhodes. Let's see how they sound together. That works a lot better. And you can see that these tracks are all playing as if they were recorded together now. It sounds a lot better. It works a lot better. That's how you fix tempo issues on tracks that were not recorded to a metronome. Have a great day, guys.